Already.
Secret identity is revealed.
Identity's revealed. This is
Right, yo, it's Kenpachi Ramasama, aka Ragdoll Kenpachi.
Yeah, Master Kenpachi.
Kenpachi-sama.
Kenpachi-sama. All right, y'all. So we're gonna do that. Let's just go. Let's just go. I think we just go because it was already 10:45. We've been 45 minutes to get ready.
For real.
It's like get to work early.
Dang. All right, so I am Kenpachi Ramasama.
Yeah, and then the individual 11, and I'm your
host.
Your host.
Biotech be hosting.
Biotech be hosting.
No, and it isn't. We're all. I wouldn't say like I would be like the timekeeper or nothing like that, but mostly like just not even to try to keep it in line. We'll just go freely, and we each have our own strengths, and we give our viewpoints, and then it don't matter how much time you spend. If you go over, I don't care. I don't care. Just do what feels natural.
Going commando.
For real.
A strongly worded text will be sent.
Strongly worded email will be sent.
Emails urgent.
Did you get the memo about those TPS reports?
Yes. Dang. As per my email.
As for my email. As for my email in all caps. All right. All right, so music's playing. And then
enough from the clown.
Enough from the clown. So
gamble.
All right, let's get going. So opening jingle, and then we do this. All right, y'all. Hey, dang. And then we do.
Fault.
This is wrong. No. All right.
Wrong.
All right. Let's take one and see how it goes.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Welcome to Post the Quest. I am Biotechzilla here with my buddy Ramasami, Kenpachi Ramasami.
Yo, Kenpachi Ramasami here. Yo, how's it going?
And Individual 11, as always.
The individual is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
What up, y'all? We were just talking about some stuff that really just I just started kind of going over a little bit about like what I wanted to play and what things that I wanted to experience, like anime and games. But mostly, I think when we were having that conversation, I was going into the idea of maybe we should make a podcast or maybe we should do something. And then, of course, Ramasami was like, yo, we need to make a podcast. And then Individual 11 was like, hey, we need to do it again. So I think we're here because of that. I think we need to express ourselves. We need to talk about games and what's fun out there in the world of gaming and anime and even manga. So that's why we're here.
We've got we all wanted to be here, and now that we're here recording, would you please release my loved ones?
Please. This is why we made the podcast.
May I have water, please? I'm parched.
I'm parched, sir. Please, sir, may I have another? Please.
What did you say?
What'd you say?
I'm too weak.
No, don't hurt me.
Don't kill me, please.
So we cannot continue a moment more without giving the explanation and making sure that everyone knows why we're here and what we're doing. But without continuing on at an exaggerated pace, just making it so that we can get the better understanding of how things are going to work on this podcast. I'm just going to break it down quickly. Not too exaggerated, not too elaborate, but just more so at a slower pace. But this show itself, this Kenpachi Ramasami here came up with this wonderful name, Post the Quest. And I think it's going to give us pretty much like a baseline for what we're doing and why we're doing it. And the reason is, it seems like, with life and everything that's going on, work and the stresses and everything, it's getting more difficult to sit down and consume media that we enjoy. We're getting older, of course. That's also taking its toll. But I remember back in the day, I was able to play the games that I wanted to play and do basically whatever I wanted to do without any of these things called responsibilities. And basically, the whole premise of the show is just to get us back into focus, and get us back into line. And
with the important things.
With the important things.
Games, anime.
So yeah. So we've created this your piece priorities exactly. We created this virtual quest board, if you will, to kind of keep us in line, keep us remembering what we're gonna do, and how we're gonna accomplish these goals. So
stay on target.
We have to stay on that target.
Stay on target.
So I hopefully you guys enjoy the show, and it's just a couple buddies here talking. We're getting to the point where we will add music, sound effects, all that's coming down the line. So just stick around. It's going to be really cool. So with that, let's go to the next segment. And then from there, I guess I'll cut it and edit it or whatever. But what do you think of that? Was that something like that would be cool to leave in, or is that too much?
No, I mean, because expectations in the beginning.
Yeah, because I was going to say, the very first episode, I guess is probably the best way to kind of set the stage, you know. Right. And then the next ones we do, it'll be that section will be probably a little bit shorter because then everybody's gonna know
and know what it's about. What's about, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. All right, so that's recorded.
It's the podcast about nothing.
About nothing.
Yeah. It's a podcast about nothing and everything.
So that was a little over.
No quest is too small for the quest board.
No quest. That was just about 5 minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you kept saying.
Do you need notes, maybe studio notes to look and remember the names?
I kept messing up your name.
Ramasami, you kept saying.
I kept saying Ramasami.
Yeah, Ramasama.
One half.
Hey, what's the name? Spider-Man. Oh, that
Spider-Man.
Sucks.
Oh, it sucks.
Don't forget the hyphen between spider and man.
And man.
Oh no, what is it? I said that wrong. I was like, what's the name? The Spider. The Spider. Oh, that sucks. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, the amazing Spider-Man.
Right, no, Kenpachi. You want to re-record it?
Ramasam. No, it's fine.
Because if you look at
it over,
it's fine.
Kenpachi, Ramasam. Yeah.
Say what?
Every time he says Ramasam, he says Mr. Black.
Mr. Black.
Mr. Black.
Oh my god.
All right, so segment 2.
Segment 2. All right, who wants to start that one?
Video games.
Video games. I guess we all can.
Who wants to
take a segment? We could alternate every week, whatever.
No,
you can go if you want, Kevin. But
just start we'll just start up a conversation. Or I can, if you want to do this one, I'll be for this one I'll be. So finally, I finally beat Final Fantasy 16, and then we'll just go into that.
So in our opinion, 16 is probably one of the better games of 2023.
Yes.
I think some other folks would agree, some would disagree, which is fine, but they're wrong, so...
They're wrong. It really... Yeah.
No, but 16, I think, was one of the games this year that... 16, I think, for me, was one of the ones that I expected to be really good, especially after playing the demo. Yeah. But I didn't know that I would love it as much as... I didn't think I would love it as much as I did. Seeing as I beat the game twice, got the platinum. I feel like... I'm excited for the DLC that's coming out.
Yeah, yes. Announced DLC. Yeah, 16 was, as you said, an expected great game in a year full of many, many games. Too many games in 2023. It'll go down in history. But, you know, when we played 16, when we played the demo, the emotional roller coaster that demo was by the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
was
man.
expected but not expected.
Yeah.
You know, and the bombastic Mr. Fantastic boss battles in that game, you know,
Oh, no.
unparalleled, I'd say, at least in anything for this year.
Yeah.
And then when we played the game, what we experienced from there was just not what we were anticipating in all the best ways. It's like it became a story about, you know, slavery, but then it also became a story about brothers.
Yes.
And it also became a story about free will.
Yeah.
So many themes in this game, and without spoiling anything, it's just, yeah. I mean, right now it's at the forefront for me for Game of the Year. I don't know if anything else is gonna top that. I'm still looking at Spider-Man, but
I guess for right now, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say, Bio?
TBD. For Spider-Man,
yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I don't know because like
Spider-Man could, but
I've been looking at the promotional videos and just like, you know, some of the gameplay and all. I'm just like, I don't know if I think I'm gonna skip that one.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know, not too long ago, I felt the same way, but
Obi-Wan once thought as you do.
yeah. I think after going back and looking at the trailer again when they finally revealed Black Suit Spider-Man, I think a part of my childhood kind of like came back, and I remember in the old Spider-Man animated show seeing Black Suit Spider-Man and Venom.
Yeah.
I think I think I've changed my mind, and after going back and playing Spider-Man, the remastered for PS5 again, I think for now, I want to say 16 is my game of the year, but I'm pretty excited for Spider-Man 2, enough that I was able to pick up one of the limited edition DualSense for Spider-Man 2, which is really, really cool. There's actually a little bit of a texture difference between the red and the black, so it feels like the symbiote's on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for Spider-Man 2. That's going to be a day one for me. I think.
Yeah, day one for me too. I'm excited for the clear character depth that will exist between regular Peter and then symbiote black suit Spider-Man Peter. But like Bio was saying, the plot could be you can kind of predict where it's going to go.
That's the whole thing. That was for me.
That's what everyone's kind of like. Oh, it's a known quantity, but that also kind of leaves the door open for big surprises, because we all think we know where this is gonna go, and if it does not, then it could be like, whoa, okay, so they're doing that. I mean, I doubt they're gonna kill Peter Parker, but you know, who knows?
Dang, famous last words.
I don't know, like to get me
here first.
To get me, they're gonna have to do the whole bully Parker, the whole like, you know, bully Maguire, download DLC skins and all that stuff. The music.
I think.
I
want emo Peter.
Yeah, I'll trace. Was that really okay? Well, I see. That's the thing that kind of got me. Was that part, that gameplay that they showed, and that cutscene that they showed, was that actually real, or is someone dubbing over that, making fun of it?
The thing with Shocker?
Yeah, were those his real lines?
That's dubbed. No, that's from the show.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's from the old animated show. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. I hope they do that.
Look
though.
out for look out for Easter eggs, because they're pretty in tune with like social media stuff going on. So if there's a meme, like it might be a trophy name or something.
Yeah.
But they might put it in there.
I don't know. I feel like I'm looking at the game and I'm just like, I'm not really. I mean, I could be wrong. It could come out and I'll be like really excited for it and at launch, and I'll pick it up. But like right now I have just finished 16, whereas you two have just beaten 16 or done, or I'm like coming off of that high. So I'm at that point where I just need to just take my time, look for my next game, and then just ease on into it. But I don't know if Spider-Man's going to be the one, though. I don't know.
You know
It's just,
what? I would say give yourself like maybe a couple more weeks.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
as it's
it's
getting
too soon.
closer, and then there's more like advertisements, and there's more, news and coverage. Because remember, TGS is at the end of the month,
yeah, right,
or
right.
close to the end of the month. So I wonder if we'll get some more news um,
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
there's
know, just something
rumblings,
more,
some
Twitter
more.
rumors
I'm
that
waiting
there
for
might be
the.
something announced next week.
Well, the only thing that'll catch my attention and the will like put the hook in my mouth, so to speak, is if they do the Japanese commercials like with like Spider-Man dancing like Shin Spider-Man, and then like do like a little jig or something, or have them like jump into
Like that doesn't change the game at all.
but that's what he
that
needs
will
to go
get
and
me.
get the pre-order.
Yeah, like it'll be like a claymation Spider-Man, and then like in a claymation city with like all this
It's
stuff, and
Robot Chicken Spider-Man.
yeah, and then like
Robot Chickens, but yeah.
he'll be stopping a crime, and then like he'd be like Spider-Man, and then like put a thumbs up or whatever, and then it's like all cartoony, and then it'll say like PlayStation, and then that's when I go and pre-order.
I need like a Wallace and Gromit style Spider-Man costume.
Wallace and Gromit. Oh my god.
No, you know what? What I'm looking forward to is the Arachnite DLC. The costumes, like they have like hoods and
Oh,
capes, and
yes.
I'm hoping that Spider-Man 2099 will actually have the web cape,
Mm.
or they'll put the
That's a good point.
or they'll do or just some like cape whatever you call
Animation.
cape animations or something. Yeah, some physics there. I think
Yeah.
that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, the Spider-Man suits
Maybe
is an
Spider-Man
interesting-
Noir with the jacket.
Spider-Man more.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic because they did so many suits on Spider-Man PS4 that obviously we want new suits, but then there will be people who want the old suits as well, and you wonder like how are they going to balance that? Are they going to pick and choose from some of the older suits to keep? Or are they just going to throw them all in? I doubt, but
That'd be
'cause
nice.
It would be nice if they did, but then it's like
It's too much.
that's a lot. Yeah,
That's a lot.
you know that's going to be a lot. But then
I don't want
if they do, they're going to have to be free updates because no one's going to want to pay for a suit pack with suits that we had in the previous
Yeah.
game. It's,
I'm not
What
ready
I
to.
was hoping-
unenviable position.
Yeah, I'm not ready to
Right.
see. Well, I'm not ready to see the old original Spider-Man suit, like the first one where it's like pajamas again. I don't want to see that again.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to see
No,
the
but
arm.
everyone's going to want the Raimi suit though.
Everyone's gonna about the Raimi suit. And they're gonna put it
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
like Scarlet Spider.
Scarlet Spider's
Again.
got to be again, and then
I mean,
Scarlet, yeah.
it's too good not to. Like,
Cosmic
that suit
Spider-Man.
looked phenomenal in.
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man
Cosmos.
PS4.
Yeah. I wonder if because Across the Spider-Verse came out this year as well, if they'll have versions like Scarlet Spider will be in it, but like the version from that movie.
Oh goodness,
Well,
no.
the version.
You know.
Oh, the animated version of it.
Yeah, like the associated one, or like Spider-Punk
Could be.
is
Spider-Punk,
that
yeah.
one from the
Because they
movie.
had Spider-Punk. Yeah,
They
it
did
could
have
be that-
Spider-Punk.
The variation. Yeah, I wonder. You presume so because I mean it's cross-pollination. There's no.
What
Um,
I would like to
Obviously they wanted
see,
tie in, so that they all fit together so that they rhyme.
yeah, what I would like to see is Spider-Man Unlimited with
Spider-Man
the web
Unlimited.
cable.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh
That'd be
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
neat.
The old Unlimited comic book.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like how many more times do I have to see Spider-Man versus Venom before I just say, you know what? Let's call it quits. Like I'm done. I guess I'm getting to that point because I know as a kid Venom was my favorite. He was my favorite Marvel villain because of just the idea that early on as a kid, the idea that a superhero can have a corruption happen to him, and then that corruption can spawn his worst nightmare or his arch enemy. That was fascinating to me. So, like, Venom encompassed all that, and I just like, as a kid, I was like, crazy for Venom. I had the figures, I had wall art, I had all the Lethal Protector comic books. But I guess like, over time, I'm just like, all right, well, how many times? And then Topher Grace really screwed it for me, like with with Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Like that was one of my
God,
first major
don't kill
letdowns. Yeah, please God, don't kill. It was like my
He
first
went
major
from
letdown.
Topher Grace to Topher Disgrace after that
Topher
movie.
Disgrace, like the nail, like it's so bad for me, like that I kind of envisioned the nails on the costume to be like made out of Play-Doh, like this yellow Play-Doh. Like you know how it's like the nails on the costume are yellow, and I was just like looking at him
Yeah, I
holding the
never paid
pipe.
that much attention.
Yeah, I was like deep diving into this iceberg, bro. I was like,
Yeah,
this is
they're like claws. It's not like
they're
it's not
claws.
like it's not like you know how in the game like his claws are black like the rest
Yeah,
of him. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
nails.
It's like
Yeah,
nails,
it's odd.
and they look like they're made of Play-Doh. It's just so odd and weird. And then Topher Grace, and it's like, no, man, like it could have been done so much better. But that's one of the things where some people say like, oh, it's just it's just media, it's just art, whatever. It's like a different version of Venom. I just couldn't, like let that go, you know. The Venom movies came out, and you know how I felt about that. I did watch them. I did enjoy them. They were fun. But just now again, Venom, like, what is this?
I
Yeah.
personally can't get enough of Venom, if I'm being
Oh,
completely honest.
oh, here we go. Here we
we're
go
gonna have
again.
to we're gonna have to we're gonna have to what you call it open up some discussion. No, but no, but I think the possibility, we don't know this yet, I don't know what Spider-Man 2 has in it, but I'm hoping that you can play as Venom.
Hmm.
But the possibility of playing as Venom in the Spider-Man like PS4 slash PS5 like that world,
Hmm.
especially with Brooklyn and Queens now being a part that you could explore. I think that'd be really, really cool. Like to see, like, him climbing up, like maybe it would be like in the movie where he's like almost like clawing his way up the buildings and stuff.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Very Ultimate Spider-Man.
yeah,
yeah. Or like if they decide to, let's say you can play as Venom, right? And then there's like different costumes and stuff that you can get for Venom or whatever. This is just like
yeah. Anti Venom.
ideas, right? Anti-Venom, like Venom from the animated show.
Vaccine.
Vaccine
you know,
Venom.
it'd be cool if they explored the whole like symbiote thing, like
Mm-hmm.
like Spider-Man Venom
That's
separation
true.
anxiety, with
Separation anxiety.
Carnage and stuff. So it'd be cool, To me, like the last time they really did something like that or similar to this, where they could possibly team up was like the old like Sega Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
Super NES games like
The,
Maximum Carnage and
Super
stuff.
we
Nintendo.
Genesis, the red carts that we would
The
get for
red cards,
the
yeah.
editions were so cool.
For all I know, like they probably did it again in some other game. I just don't know or remember. There's like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance stuff, but
Yeah.
like in a situation like this where it's a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
contained, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it would be. You get like talking about like the Sonic and Knuckles effect, where like you can play as Venom
Yeah,
in the older game,
yeah,
or just like
yeah.
play the whole
That's
game with Venom.
yeah. It'd be cool if like there's like the Venomized thing. Like even though like like to me that stuff is really really cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm down for all the Venomized stuff. Same with like how DC does like the whole Batman metal and everyone's Batman. Like I kind
Yeah.
of like that, but for Venom.
Well, we shall
And
see.
just yeah, it's a funny story. Now that we're on the subject of Venom, I remember this one time in this arcade, there was this guy that we were all playing like DDR, and there was this dude that was like, we were talking about like Marvel and stuff like that, and he asked us, my brother and I, he asked us like, oh, what's your favorite like what power would you want? from Marvel. I think we were both like, oh, like Venom, like to have the symbiote. And all that. And he was like, Venom? And basically he just went on this like rant about how we were so like basic for choosing Venom and all this stuff. And
No, that
he
was me.
like, he was like, I picked like Ultron and all this stuff and
Ultron.
blah blah
You wanna
blah.
be a
Yeah, and
robot.
he was like, you know, basically if I died, I would just come back and like it's stronger and better. All this. And I'm like, all right, dude, like it's not that serious, man.
All
Like
right.
it's
He's like,
You chose the wrong superpower.
For
Let me tell you
real.
why.
and a young Biotech Zilla was turned away.
For real.
That's like, just like I was on a mission.
Origin story.
The origin story is like since I was on a mission to like dissuade people from liking Venom. And it was like the anti-Venom,
like
campaign.
This was the post Spider-Man 3 world where like there was a campaign to stop people from liking Venom. No, but I remember feeling like, dang, dude, all right, well maybe I chose wrong. Like I actually felt bad for a moment there because I liked Venom.
My favorite thing growing up was playing Spider-Man for the Genesis, and
Which one?
the first one, Spider-Man versus the Kingpin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Kingpin. Spider-Man versus the Kingpin, and playing in Nightmare mode. With Nightmare mode would bring out Venom in every single stage at random times. He'll just show up whenever.
Dang.
And
He
that
was Devil Joe before Devil Joe was a thing.
he was the original Devil Joe, the Black Pickle. But
Yo.
and we were all booted off the podcast. But no, that was my favorite. But like I'm a big Venom fan for sure. I still like Venom to this day, but I feel like he hasn't received the best screening when it comes to movies, and
Yeah. Venom needs some real love.
he needs some real love. And Tom Hardy with what he did for The Dark Knight Rises, and with the change in his physique, I think he could have gone bigger and badder. And I think they could have dropped the accent. They could have made it a little more. I mean, I know he was playing it seriously, but I think the accent kind of throws me off too, because it's like this weird. I don't know. I almost feel like he's like lisping at some points, and it's just he seems very weak in that movie. And I know that that's the whole premise, is that like Venom is supposed to be strength, but I don't know. I just don't. I didn't get that either. Although the movies were cool, and I thought Woody Harrelson was like just a knockout as Carnage, but it's just maybe a little bit too much. Too much in the wrong direction, I think.
I still look at animated Spider-Man from 1997 as definitive Spider-Man. Even over all of the movies, including the Tom Holland movies.
Yeah.
Because to me, like, that is the best depiction of Peter Parker, and his internal you get his internal monologue in the animated show that you obviously don't get in the movies, and it just gives Peter Parker way more dimensions, way more depth. So you now the video game has the potential to do that, because you can do that with the video game. You can have the character talking to himself, and it's not unnatural to hear his thoughts. But so I think in that respect, they have the potential to match the animated series and surpass the movies in the characterization of the characters of especially Peter.
Yeah.
Like you can hear, like, he can talk to himself, which he does even in the trailer for Spider-Man 2, where he's like kind of just yelling at Kraven's men, and like you just get to understand, like, oh yeah, something's up. He's not himself.
He's not himself.
So hopefully that could potentially lead to the best incarnation of Venom that we've seen in the last 20 years, or it might not. I still personally believe that Venom in this game is going to be Kraven. I think that the symbiote is going to transfer over to Kraven. That's just
weird.
I have some theories. This is probably not going to happen, this is probably going to play out maybe more so how we think it is, but in the trailer, there's this scene where like Mary Jane's hiding from Peter in the symbiote suit, but I think it's supposed to be Peter as Venom. And I think Miles is the one that helps him come back to just being regular Peter. And I think I think from there it might go back to Harry or maybe to Craven.
But what happened to just Eddie Brock?
Too predictable.
Like I know it's too predictable.
Unless Eddie Brock's in there and we don't know that. Like they don't want us to know that yet.
Yeah.
That's possible.
But like unless there, I mean, look, if it goes into Peter and then Peter becomes Venom, Peter's going to go through such a drastic change. He's going to be such a different person. He's going to envelop himself and give himself over to the evil. It's going to be hard to bring him back.
Well, I think it might be a little bit easier, especially without the symbiote's influence. You know.
I guess it's like
I don't know. I mean, that would be different, honestly. You know, because I think everybody's expecting him to be like at that point where it's like, oh no, I need to take it off, and then he finds a way to take off the symbiote, and he's back, and then there's Venom. But it would be cool if he went straight up Venom for a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
But and then play as Miles to try and beat him, and Peter is the boss, and then
Peter's the boss.
Peter is the boss, and you gotta beat Peter.
Beat Peter.
I mean, it could be, but I really think, because to me, Craven is out there looking for, the next challenge, the proper challenge, and he's gonna hunt the Spider-Man, right? And
Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man.
the Spider-Man. The Spider-Mans.
The Spider-Mans.
And then the symbiote is going to be, presumably, again, we still have to see how they introduce a symbiote in the first place. But then the symbiote, if it is rejected by Peter, if Peter finds a way to get it off, the symbiote is going to be looking for someone strong to bond to.
Someone strong.
And
what I
think?
Be
stronger than this hunter.
Right.
Or rather, what might happen is while Peter is engulfed in the symbiote, Craven is hunting him because now he's the ultimate predator. It's just like when the Ultimate Warrior fought Mahatma Gandhi. And
somewhere
in the process of fighting Craven, he gets the symbiote, off of him, and the symbiote then Craven tries to attack the symbiote, thinking, oh, this is really the ultimate thing because look what it does to people, and then he just bonds it to himself, and then he becomes Venom.
So Craven becomes
and then Venom is more
alien hunter
because Eddie Brock was never that intelligent of an adversary.
No.
I mean, Venom obviously enhanced that, but if you have someone like Craven the Hunter, a tactician, with experience bonding with a symbiote, now he's really deadly.
And he has he does have the size.
Yeah, that's what I'm also thinking, like the size, the physique, because when Peter is wearing the black suit, he's just black suit Peter.
Mm.
Imagine it's like Norman Osborn as Venom.
Norman Osborn.
Why not?
He brings him back from or like what would be a great iteration of Venom is that the symbiote joins with Peter, and the symbiote only can join with certain blood types. So let's just say Peter happens to have that perfect blood type to nurture a perfect nurturing environment for the symbiote to attach itself to and feed. And then once it tastes Peter Parker's blood, it's just like it can't go without another Parker's blood, and it goes into Aunt May or Uncle Ben or something, and brings back Uncle Ben from the dead.
Dang.
Yeah, well,
it's like zombie Uncle Ben.
Yeah, zombie Uncle Ben inside of the symbiote.
It actually finds Ben Reilly out there, and
Ben Reilly.
It's Clone Saga all over again.
Or
I think that because a lot of people were expecting Venom to just be Harry, but I think that because there's scenes of Harry and Peter hanging out, and I think from there the symbiote just jumps onto Peter.
Yeah, to
So I don't
Peter,
even.
yeah.
I don't really think it's just like Harry in the suit.
Yeah,
From the jump,
I
but
think so too, because the
I,
ending scene in Spider-Man 4, or Spider-Man PS4, kind of showed that looked to me like the symbiote was not bonding with Harry. Like it was
yeah,
in there, and Harry was in there, and then
it
like
was just like,
Norman walks up to the glass, and the symbiote's reaching out to him like, "Hey, get me out of here."
yeah.
But also like the imagery at the end of the first Spider-Man game where it was like Spider-Man had that black suit that he made, and it was kind of like
When he was fighting
transitioning
Doc
over.
Ock.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Ah, yes.
I remember
Yeah,
that suit.
That was pretty sick.
But anyway, we got to transition over because we've been talking about this for we've been talking about Final Fantasy 16 for like almost an hour. Great Final Fantasy 16 talk.
For real. I love the part when
It's
Clive
just-
Rossfield fights
Venom.
Venom. And
Yeah.
Venom Rossfield.
they imagine that symbiote Clive Rossfield. That'd be unstoppable.
That would be
Unstoppable.
unstoppable.
Was something like okay, like the symbiote has the major weakness of sound, and it's like
True.
any like you just fight Garuda and it'd be like yeah,
For real.
even Garuda's own sounds would probably mess with the symbiote coming from
Yeah,
Clive.
if Titan like clapped his hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boom, it'd be over. But
Shiva creates like a crystal resonance chamber.
For real, yeah.
and it'd be over.
There's a lot of ways.
But all right, so we'll record that and keep that, and keep all those little giblets.
The little the little nuggets there.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be all chaotic and all that stuff, but whatever it is.
That's
what it
cool.
is.
I mean,
We'll keep it flowing. If the conversation goes into, if it's like, well, I wanted to talk about 16, and then we just like naturally go into something else, then let's just do it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. Because I mean that was a pretty good
Yeah.
video game section there.
Yeah. But now we got to talk about the mangas and the animes.
So the anime and manga,
Section 3.
section tree, which we're all enjoyers of anime and manga.
Choirs.
I've never read a manga in my life.
Yeah. Oh, so
Dang.
Jill's already spilt the beans about the podcast.
Two.
Jesus. Oh my god. Like her coworker.
Oh,
wow.
dang.
And her coworkers, she was like, "Oh, my husband loves anime and stuff. He lived in Japan for like a year. No, for how long? Was it for 5 years?" And she's like, "Oh, he's like big into that. Like, what's the name of the podcast?" And go, she says the name of the podcast, of course. Like, comes right out perfectly fine. Like, she don't forget or nothing like that. It's like she can't be forgetful at the right times. Like,
Dang.
Tom's like, "Oh my god, already."
Should I just call it 3 quests above?
3 quests above to the left. But anyway, so I'm just like, oh god. But
I think this might end up being like a Spider-Man themed
the Spider-Man.
episode
I know, right?
because I've been reading Spider-Man Fake Red,
Oh goodness.
the manga,
Oh my god.
which, like I was telling you guys,
Yeah.
it's a nice change from the typical Spider-Man story.
Well, tell me about it.
So it's not even like spoilers. It's like on the back of the book. But Spider-Man in this story is not Peter Parker. So his name is Yu. He's a Japanese high school student, and he ends up finding
Detective you?
Detective Yu.
Not you.
So he-
you.
You? You Suzuki?
So
It's a Yu Suzuki fantasy book.
it's
Where
really him that wrote it.
he envisions himself as Spider-Man, the savior of Japan.
Spider-Man.
Usu
No,
Spider-Man.
So he finds Spider-Man's costume like in an alleyway, and so he thinks it's like somebody had just made this costume, but it turns out it's like the actual Spider-Man costume, but there's no Spider-Man around.
Mm.
So he's like, well, I guess uh, people see him wearing it, and so they're like, there's like a fire, and they're like, Spider-Man, like go help, the people in the building, and so he's basically like this guy in this suit, and he ends up having to do all this stuff that like Spider-Man does, but he
Yeah.
doesn't have any of his powers or anything like that.
What?
Yeah, so he's Spider-Man, but it's not Peter Parker. But Peter Parker is somewhere. He's around. But it's really, really good. It's not like one of those where I think this was a really, really cool, like refreshing take on the Spider-Man story. And there's still like some really cool, like on the cover, there's scorpions in there, Venom, and individual Levin's personal favorite Screwball is in there too.
Oh my
Screwball. Yeah. Oh,
Screwball.
remind me and everyone what your problem with Screwball was.
If anyone, like, what's your problem?
What's your problem with Screwball?
Screwball. Let me tell you about Screwball. If any of you have played the City That Never Sleeps DLC for Spider-Man PS4 / Spider-Man Remastered, you will know how blasted annoying Screwball and her stupid little challenges are. And she's like this sociopathic narcissist who's constantly like live streaming to her followers. It's like the worst, like Gen Zer ever.
Okay.
Always Instagram living and putting people in like real life danger. Like, you gotta save him, Spider-Man. And I'm like, you need to just stop breathing, Screwball.
But you know what's weird? I feel like that's why, in a way, her character is so like funny, because it's like she's pretty much just amplifying like the stupid stuff people do, like for social media and clout. I think that's why I like her a lot. Even she's really annoying, but I'm like, it makes sense. It's like kind of like they're making fun of the people who are like, always live streaming in like random places or whatever. Except she's like putting people in like actual danger, and Spider-Man has to go and save them.
Basically, just like
but she,
any live streamer now, anyway, putting people in danger.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's
Did you
on
play the
point,
other?
It's just, I just don't like her.
Yeah.
And
Did you play the
her
other
parts
DLCs?
were annoying because I needed some of the tokens that you got for her to help me do the platinum in the main game. So I had to do it. So I was just like, I don't want to see this
For
face
real.
again. I can see even the pink of her helmet annoys me.
Oh god.
Did you play like the 3 DLCs for Spider-Man PS4?
Yeah, I did.
I
You did?
played the first 2. I don't think I bought the second one.
The Silver Sable one, and
So Screwball's in all 3 of them.
Yeah, she's in all 3.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I actually didn't mind some of her. The only the challenges that I didn't like were like the sneaking around ones, where like if you get caught, like you have to start over. Those are pretty annoying.
Those are annoying. But
the other ones were okay.
So in the book, what does she have? Like, what is Screwball's agenda here in this manga?
So far she hasn't had like a really big part, but basically she's the same she's the same character she is in the game.
Oh god.
But the thing is though is that it's not Peter. So it's not like Peter can just do, what I like about Yu's character is that he's like really creative. So he kind of has to approach things like a regular person would with these gadgets, not like Peter can just like jump like 10 stories into the sky and like just catch up with her. He's having to like do stuff where he's like having to ride on a train and he's like barely hanging on and doing all this stuff, and and the thing is that people, like everybody's on their cell phones and they're like taking pictures or recording stuff, and so he's able to find her using social media, and so people are like, oh, like Screwball's over here, and so he's kind of like having to like go about it like a regular person would, and
take the
he
bus,
does end up,
take a cab.
He has to grab the train or or whatever it is. No, but it's cool. It's cool. It's kind of like a, you know, like if a regular person had to like step up and take up the mantle as Spider-Man, and I think it's a pretty neat. I don't want to spoil too much
Yeah, yeah.
for anybody who might want to check it out, or if y'all want to check it out, but it's really cool. I think this is a nice pickup. I haven't finished it just yet. I'm almost done, but it's like a just like an action shonen manga, but with Spider-Man. And if you're into that kind of thing, if you like those two things together, I think you're gonna really like it. Yeah, and there's a Wolverine one that came out too that I haven't checked out yet, which would be interesting. But maybe when if we get some Wolverine news, maybe I'll check
Wolverine,
it out then.
Wolverines. But well, my other favorite black superhero, dressed in all black, is Batman. I mean, just like
And not Black Lightning,
not
not
Black,
John
Dang.
Stewart, Green
not just
Lantern,
no, none of those. Not Black Adam. No.
not Black
Not
Panther.
Black Adam. Batman. I picked up um, after a long time of searching the Batman
Yeah,
1989 comic, the full complete Batman 1989 collection, the Dark Knight Returns. The one by like Sam Hamm and Joe Quinones.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that one I haven't read it yet. I haven't opened it yet to read it, but I've been anticipating kind of getting into the mood. I want to watch the first two, Batman and Batman Returns, and then I want to go into this book because I'm super excited. It's like my favorite overall Batman universe is that 1989 Tim Burton-esque Batman, and it's pretty exciting, man. I can't wait to get into it. But it it itself, the artwork is like amazing in
It
this
looks
book.
really, really neat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's amazing. It's not the best. It's amazing because it's like going back to my favorite place, but and it does feel like that. It kind of feels like I'm returning back to a part of my childhood that I really liked. I like that universe. But yeah, there's supposedly Robin's in it. There's like a Tim Burton type Robin. Catwoman's back, like the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, and then
Nice.
we get the Harvey Dent that we always wanted.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah, the
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams himself as Two-Face. I think like it's a crime that Tommy Lee Jones, someone who wasn't into comics at all, who didn't give a crap, he just did it for basically just did it for his kid
Because because the kid said he should take the role.
and
Yeah.
played it like an idiot. Like I don't even want to talk about that guy anymore. But like I
I'm like
think
over
this,
here hiding my
Tommy
Tommy Lee Jones like Two-Face figure.
you're hiding your like you're the fugitive figure and
Dang.
the Tommy Lee Jones
little-
fugitive.
He's wiping off the Tommy Lee Jones makeup right now.
I know,
off his
right?
face.
I'm like, for real.
The Men in Black 1 and 2.
Putting away
Poster.
the Tommy Lee Jones signed picture of him in S Two-Face. No, like do you remember McDonald's was selling the little glass cups
Yeah.
for
The,
Batman Forever?
the frosted glass mugs.
I had a couple of those.
Yeah.
I want to say I had the Riddler and Two-Face
Yeah.
ones.
I had the Batman Forever one. I had the Riddler one with the question mark, and then I had the Batman one with the Batman logo on it. But they're small though, because I recently saw one and they're like little small cups, like very very small. Like as a kid,
Yeah.
you look at it and you're like, oh, that's a lot of soda. It's just like it holds a lot of Coke. But just looking at it as an adult, as a man, just looking at it and be like, oh wow, it's like I can't even like that's like one sip.
It's like a thimble
Yeah,
for
and
your
then
thumb now.
for real. But yeah, I'm super excited to get into it. I just now I'm like thinking, okay, so I wanted to get into One Piece, and I wanted to go back and like finish One Piece and try to catch up to the latest episode. But like, do I do this or do I do my Batman thing? And I'm like, I'm kind of torn between the two. So I don't know. Did the individual 11? Do you have any sort of ideas as to like how I should go about this, or?
Yes. In fact, I want to post the quest on the quest board right now.
Slap a
This-
quest
for
on
the end
there.
of this year, number one, the two of you need to watch Attack on Titan.
Oh
So
man,
that I can start to talk about Attack on Titan.
you gotta release the
Because I cannot
seals.
speak about it because you don't know. Two, you can't forget the One Piece thing, bro. Forget it.
Dang.
It's never gonna be a thing.
Dude,
You've been
I can't.
trying it for like 10 years.
I
And then
can't.
now there's like 1,300 episodes. Yeah, no.
Well, I left off.
I mean, if anything, start with the live action thing is coming out is out for,
Look.
and I mean, not that it's necessarily going to be the definitive version, but you'll get a lot more covered watching that than you will trying to watch. I think it covers like a season and a half or almost 2 seasons of an anime.
Yeah, that's the problem. I left. I'm worried about spoilers. I'm looking at Luffy and I see different iterations of Luffy, and I'm like, I don't know how he got these powers, but I don't want to know because I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna get to know it when I watch the anime, and I don't want to spoil it. So I've been looking at
That's the
like
thing. It's going to be so many years before you catch up.
it's a lot. It's a lot, but I feel like I have to do it because I left off in 2005, I think. 2005 after they did the whole the village of sand, not the village of sand, sorry. That's Naruto. The the clock dial or clock dial basically that arc with when they find the blue-haired girl, I forgot her name. And then
Blue-haired girl.
it was like, yeah, I'm
Geez,
so
yeah, I know who
I'm
you
so
mean.
far removed from it. But anyway, when they find her, and then just right after they get what's her name? See, I'm just like so far
Nami?
removed from the anime. Not Nami, but the one with that has the hands that come out of her. Mary. Oh, Robin.
Robin. Okay.
Yeah, the witch Robin or whatever. Well, Witch Hunter
Robert.
Robert. But yeah, I feel like I
Witch
need
Hunter Robert.
Witch Hunter Robert. Yeah.
The world's most boring witch hunter.
For real. But I need to get in. I need to get back in. I will. That's the quest that I am going to undertake, and I need to get back to it. I do have that little
I mean,
side quest.
Attack on
But
Titan is right there, and it's
I
only
know.
four seasons, and then the absolute ending movie is coming out
I know.
like in 2 months.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, it's gonna
And
happen.
trust me, Cole, you will be ready. Trust me, the similarities between 16 and Attack on Titan are real, and I could mention none of them because no one's completed Attack on Titan
Oh
yet.
goodness. Well, it'll
Like,
it'll
I
get
could stream an
there.
entire episode on Attack on Titan once you guys are caught up. Like,
Right. We need to get back.
legit.
The next episode, we will get back to. We'll get back with more information about like these shows and like how far we've gotten. Like I'm like halfway through, I fell asleep or something. Like it's gonna get there though. We'll get it. We'll get it. Well,
Speaking of shows,
I'll start
FLCL Grunge is in 20 minutes.
in 20 minutes. I know. As we're recording this, we're waiting for the premiere of this new FLCL show on Toonami. But
Yeah, funny thing about that is it's fallen into the trap, as I would say, of being a 3D animated, cell shaded
oh
anime.
goodness,
And it's just like, no, I don't think anything has properly benefited from that. Like,
no,
Dragon Ball Superhero did not benefit
Did
from
not.
being 3D. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045 did not benefit by being 3D. But I was watching an interview from the director of FLCL Grunge, and he was saying, we're seeing a lot of people online saying, they're criticizing the art style. He said, but I think when they see the episode, they'll understand it. So I'm hoping that somehow it's either justified or if at least they were smart enough to animate the thing at 30 frames per second and not this ridiculous half stop motion animation frame rate that they think should be done for this stuff. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know why they do those 24 frame per second um, anime and movie and all that stuff. It's
Yeah,
not.
like no one wants to see
No one
slow
wants to see it.
moving. It's stupid. It's like
No.
video games have proven that 30 frames per second works just fine.
Yeah, I mean, look at
So
Reboot. Reboot was 60 frames per second. The whole show. There wasn't a moment
Sure.
where it was like stop motion. I mean, and this had worse graphics to showcase.
for real,
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
Look how good that looked.
It's stylistically designed.
Stylistically.
Yes.
But this
Yeah,
this
and
this
Beast
whole
Wars, huh? And all the heroic things he's done.
but there's the whole thing about getting this whole all these like different camera angles and like Dragon Ball, like we touched on Dragon Ball Super and how Dragon Ball Super the superhero movie would get these like wild angles and stuff and everything, and back when Dragon Ball was captivating people, when Dragon Ball Z was being drawn in 2D, they got it in 2D and they made moments that like we can never forget. But these new camera angles and all this stuff are doing nothing to help. You know, you would think that, man, with this new technology, with the way they can manipulate the camera, with the way they can easily put together scenes and make things look impactful and make things look real and raw and give you different perspectives, that the meaning would be that much more, but it's not. It seems like they're focusing too much on all that the little like bazaar and the little show and the little, hey, look, this looks so good that we can, put it up there and put a camera angle of like in between Goku's fists and then like going right into, the screen.
The
And
thing
it's
about
like,
that
we don't
is
need that.
that the video games have done better than that at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Dragon Ball Fighters, which is running on Unreal Engine 4, looks better than any of the animes or anime movies that they put out, barring Super Broly.
Right.
And it's like, all right, if you can do
Broly.
that in this engine, license the thing, get some animators, and you can do the show in the daggone engine. Like,
Right.
why not? I mean, the budget can't be that much of a chasm between a full season anime budget and what it will cost to rent or lease a license for Unreal Engine 4 for 8 months. Like, just do it, and then it'll look way better. And I'm pretty sure like you can get any camera angles you want. You won't have half of the issues that you have with like translating and localization because you can adjust lip flaps for any language.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't require redrawing a cell. Yeah, so like it would streamline a lot of the process and look way better.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they won't do it. Like even if you just do that for the movie. Like if Dragon Ball Superhero was done in Unreal Engine 4 instead of whatever the heck it was that they did, I think it would look a lot better. At least, and it looks closer to hand-drawn animation.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand why they continue to have a version of the product that looks great, has the voice acting and everything. I mean, obviously a video game is a different product, but you've got that right there. Somehow they're doing it, and if you don't have to worry about a fighting mechanic too much, you're not dealing with button presses and combos and all of that,
Right.
and a UI, then you can shave some of the development time and make these things look better. But I guess that makes too much sense.
We can't do sensible things now.
For real.
What are you, crazy?
And with that, I think we've been overtime by like 40 minutes.
Dang.
So let's wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. So all right, y'all. Thanks for listening to the first episode. We hope you tune in for the next one. for my buddy Kenpachi Ramasamy for individual 11. This is Biotechzilla saying peace.
Peace out. And remember, the real quests were the friends we made along the way.
See ya.
Peace.
Psych.
All right, and that's it.